I'm 92. I don't fear dying. I knew that we were leaving France in 1940 because there was something bad happening in the government. We were Jewish. I mean, I understood that. I began to learn all kinds of things. I mean, until I got older, I just painted.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you.
Please move in. Hi. We're going straight and to the right.
Okay.
Will you want tea or coffee?
Coffee would be wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm Jacqueline Gurevich. I was born in Paris in 1933 and left for the States in 1940 at the beginning of the war with my family, obviously. I'm not used to this. Let me get the coffee and then we can sit down. We lived in a neighborhood which many refugees lived in for one reason or another. My father was in the shipping business and he was sent on a trip to negotiate something in New York. And what he did was that, but he also then asked that company in New York to sponsor his wife and child and arranged for visas. That's when I came over with my mother. I remember crossing the Pyrenees on foot, going through Spain in various stages, my mother hitchhiking. My mother and father were completely out of touch. And when we got to Lisbon, they again were able to communicate. But we must have been in Lisbon for a month or two, during which paperwork was arranged. And then we got on a big ship and landed in New York, and my father was there. Here I am. My mother and her brother, who had emigrated to this country earlier, and who was a physician, did everything they possibly could to try to persuade my grandparents to come to this country, including the paperwork. But my grandparents just said they had come from Russia to Berlin and they weren't about in their 80s to come to a new country. So they actually were killed in the camps. So my father's family was in Palestine at that point, and my mother's family, and some of my father's cousins also were killed in the war. Well, I knew there were the good people and the bad people, and I knew that the Vichy regime was bad and that there were enemies, but I didn't know more than that. My mother was extremely skillful in somehow framing the whole thing as a wonderful adventure, the goal of which was to find my father. She would handle whatever. I mean, I was a kid, I was a child. The circumstances for her, I know, were very difficult, and I was told just to not say a word, not answer any questions. If whatever it was, I was just supposed to say, to gesture. Immigration came onto the ship, and the people who had the proper papers got off the ship, but we were put on another little boat and taken to Ellis Island because our papers were not in order. But it must have been something like 2 or 3 weeks. They were just metal carts, like camp carts, in rows, and you kept you had no lockers or anything. You kept your belongings under your cot. I don't think we had anything really. We left everything in the apartment in Paris. I don't remember the sense of being on an island. I don't remember going out and seeing the skyline or anything like that. My mother put me in public school, PS 81, which changed everything for me. I liked it. I didn't feel an outsider. It was very good. My mother was a painter. Her father was an architect and a designer. She started taking courses at the Art Students League just to have a place to paint and work. I was always given drawing materials, and I then went to the High School of Music and Art in New York. I didn't want to go to art school. I just wanted to work on my own. And so I don't have a BFA or anything like that. I just painted landscape, still life, whatever, you know? I was always interested in still life. It gives the painter control over the subject matter, whereas portraiture and landscape, you deal with a given. I'm a hungry looker. And once I fastened on the clouds, they've never stopped interesting me. When I was working with landscape, the horizon sort of kept dropping, and it was quite towards the bottom of the canvas, whatever the format. And it was pretty clear to me that I didn't want to be painting the horizon. What interested me was the sense of anti-gravitational thrust upward. Almost all of my work is vertical. I mean, if you look around. I've been working down at the World Trade Center also, painting there on the 80th floor. I mean, these are from there. Do you want this here?
Yeah, I do like that there.
At the end of my junior year at Music and Art, I went for a summer session to Black Mountain College. The abstract expressionist painter Stamos was teaching as a visiting artist, and I had seen work of his because my mother, who was a very good painter and looked at a lot of shows, always took me around. And various people at Black Mountain spoke about the University of Chicago in ways that made it very attractive for me. I was there for something like 7 or 8 years. And during my time in Chicago, I met Victor, who became my husband. Since you seem to be interested in the loft, the door to the loft used to be right here, sort of right opposite where you get out of the elevator. And there is this space, which is hugely important, which my husband, who died about 5 years ago, was his, he called it his kashibi. It was where he worked. He was a Rousseau scholar. This is what he did. He translated all of Rousseau's political writings for Cambridge University Press. And it came out in paperback and in hardcover. There's a lot of Rousseau.
Yeah.
You know, here, all over. That's what political theory and philosophy. Why did we leave Chicago? New York was what we were aiming for, and at some point we just made it. In 1978, I found this place through an ad in the Village Voice. It said, great light. The rent was reasonable or affordable. And fortunately, now it's rent stabilized. So I came and I looked, and I immediately took the place, and here I am. Yeah. And gradually, over the years, we changed one thing or another. We moved the radiator after a few years because I needed that wall to have paintings on. And when we moved the radiator, it was like half an inch of ink. It was a lithography, a commercial lithography shop that printed labels. So we moved the radiator and scraped the floor. This was all open. I mean, you came in to the loft here. They were freestanding columns. I had no idea what they looked like. They were encased in cement and plywood. Excuse me. And so after a while, we figured out how best to make it possible for him to have privacy while he works, or for him to meet with somebody or teach possibly a small seminar in here, and I could close, and do my stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, to lose Victor, who was an extraordinary person. I'm very lucky that, for instance, Victor died at home, right here in a hospital bed. He died of cancer. And so once we knew that this was a terminal illness, I couldn't see him working on one side of the wall and then knowing that the time was limited and me painting on this side of the wall. So it brought about a long interruption. I still feel that I'm getting back into painting, and I haven't hit my stride yet. I hope to. I don't want to keep going unless I'm well. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to linger. So I just as soon die. I feel I'm totally ready to go. I don't fear dying. I've had a very, very good life. I really feel that. I have splendid children. I'm lucky.
Thank you so much for watching the video. The best way to support me and the continued creation of these videos is to pre-order my photography book, Artist in Residence, at the link in the description. The book is my continued documentation of the last generation of artists living in these unique studios and lofts across New York City. Thank you so much for watching these videos. It really means a lot to me and to all of the artists that are featured in them.